Hey guys, it's Brooke, and today I'm going to be doing my February favorites, which I'm excited about, and also if I look a little bit like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I sunburnt my nose, so just ignore that, okay? Okay, thanks. Okay, so this month was kind of a short month, but yet I still have a crap ton of songs to talk about. I feel like a lot of these songs are more serious, so like I feel like I'm not going to be doing as much of my lip syncing in this video. Maybe, I mean, I probably will still try, but I feel like there's not a ton of songs that are just like jamming on here. There are a few. I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. So the first song on here is a song that I discovered through ARTV, who's one of my favorite YouTubers. I've talked about him before. His girlfriend, Infinity on Hannah, I love. She made my channel banner and made my thumbnail for my Reputation video, which is my favorite thumbnail I've ever had. And he said something in a video a long time ago about this song called She Doesn't Get It by The Format, which was a band that the guy from Fun was in before he was in Fun and before he did his solo music. So it's called She Doesn't Get It, and it's basically about this girl who he's just trying to hook up with before she moves out of town, and he kind of underestimates her because he thinks that she's too immature and he's just really only attracted to her, and he says all that and it ends up kind of turning around on him because he ends up catching feelings for her, and then she moves and she doesn't care about him, but he ends up missing her, and he even says in the song, I never want her to forget me. And it's just a really good song, and it's fun to listen to, but it's also really, really well written, and you can tell the story behind the song. So that's the first song I have. The next song is a song that is off of the soundtrack from the movie Juno, which is pretty old, but most of you should know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I found this song because Miss Megan Hughes on YouTube is one of my favorite YouTubers, like way up there in my favorite YouTubers. And she did a Instagram live and her boyfriend Finley were singing this, and I was like obsessed with it, so I just kind of like googled some of the words they were singing and found this song, and I love it. You're a part-time lover and a full-time friend. The monkey on your back is the latest trend. I don't see what anyone can see in anyone else but here is the church and here is the steeple. We sure are cute for two ugly people. I don't see what anyone can see in anyone else but... The next song is from the album Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan, which I was really into this month, and this song is Tangled Up in Blue, which is definitely one of my favorites off that album. Early one morning, the sun was shining. I was laying in bed, wondering if she'd changed it all, if her hair was still red. The road rain falling on my shoes, heading up for the East Coast. Lord knows I paid some dues getting through. Tangled up in blue. Next is a Tom Petty song, which is also off of the album that I kind of featured in my last month's favorite playlist, and this song is called Listen to Her Heart. And I love this song. This song is basically Mr. Steal Your Girl comes up in here and is trying to take Tom's woman, and he's not having it. And the whole song just kind of has this sassy vibe to it, and I love it. The next song I detested when it came out, and that is Havana by Camila Cabello. And no offense to her, I have like nothing against her as a person. This song just got on my nerves when it first came out, and every time it came on the radio I'd be like, ah. But it broke me down, and it has quickly become one of the most played songs of this month. So yeah, it wore me down, and I actually kind of love it. So also, before we even start, if you have not seen the music video to this, go watch the music video because it is so funny and I love it. Okay, so Fall Out Boy's album Mania came out at the end of January, and I had very low expectations for it, even though I love Fall Out Boy so much, because Young and Menace was not good. I actually did not listen to any of the other songs that came out after Young and Menace because I was just kind of like, I just kind of wanted to wait until the album came out to see how that was gonna go. And I was so pleasantly surprised with this album. I said that Blue Madonna by Borns was probably my album of the month for January 2018, and I think I'm gonna say that Mania by Fall Out Boy is my record of the month for February 2018. It pleasantly surprised me. I don't love every single song. I still can't stand Young and Menace, but this has some really good songs on it. So yeah, the first one that I have on here is Last of the Real Ones, which I know came out before the album came out, but as I said, I didn't listen to it. Okay, the next song is a Kendrick Lamar song, and I know I talked about Kendrick in my Grammys video. He actually played this song at the Grammys with U2, but I actually didn't know it then. I actually heard this song when I was in the car with my best friend Bella and her boyfriend Jake. He's probably watching this because he watches my videos more than Bella does, and he's honestly one of my #1 fans, so hey Jake. Anyway, this is XXX by Kendrick Lamar featuring U2, and this song is about gun violence, Kendrick's friend's son getting shot in the ghetto, and about just how there are so many attacks, terrorist attacks, gun violence attacks going on. And I actually got into this song before the Florida shooting happened. And I heard this the day after the Florida shooting happened, just on my playlist, and I mean, I sobbed. And this song came out, you know, almost a year before that happened, but it's just so applicable to it now, and this is a very well written song, and this is one of the most listened to songs that I listened to this month. Jesus and Joseph, the great American flag is wrapped and dragged with explosives. Compulsive disorder, sons and daughters, barricaded blacks and borders. Look what you taught us. It's murder on my street, your street, back streets, Wall Street, corporate offices, banks, employees, and bosses with homicidal thoughts. Donald Trump's in office. Okay. So everyone knows I love Taylor Swift, we don't even need to discuss that, but she put out a playlist on Spotify called Taylor's Favorite Songs, and there are 2 songs on there that I absolutely love, and I probably would not have discovered otherwise. I'm about to play the first one. I'm kind of obsessed with it. This also kind of reminds me of a Ray LaMontagne song, but it's not Ray LaMontagne. this next song is called Bernstein. And the first time I heard it, this is gonna sound so stupid, but the first time I heard it, I just liked the way that it sounded. And then the next time I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh. He's talking about Bernstein as in the Bernstein Bears, as in the Mandela effect. And he says, in another life, you were infinitely mine when Bernstein was fine, saying like that in another dimension, like the Mandela effect, he was with this person. And I was like, this is pure genius. And they took something like that, like the Mandela effect, and made it into a wonderful song. And I'm just like, yes, thank you, Taylor, because I probably would have never found this either. And I am mind blown at this song, kind of like I am at the Mandela effect. And just, yes, yes. Okay, the next song is a Death Cab for Cutie song, and I've never been able to get into Death Cab, and they're like one of my sister-in-law's favorite bands, and me and her always recommend music to each other, and she's been trying to get me into them forever, and it has not really happened, but I just happened to hear this song somewhere on Spotify. I don't know where I even heard it, but it's What Sarah Said, and I'm not even going to be able to capture like how good this song is in a clip, but go listen to this song. It is so good. So good. The next song is one of my favorite songs of all time, which I'm sure I've talked about, and that is While My Guitar Gently Weeps. But this is not the original Beatles version that's on the White Album that George Harrison sings. If you don't know, George Harrison is my favorite Beatle, one of my favorite people ever. I love him. But this is a special version because it's like in honor of George, and Eric Clapton, obviously if you know the whole story, I could make a whole video on that, and I might one day. Anyway, Eric Clapton plays guitar actually on the Beatles' White Album of While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and so this is him and Paul McCartney singing it for George, and I just really loved this. Also, I listen to this song and I cry every time something detrimental happens, like a natural disaster or a terrorist attack or something like this. So this also fills in really well with the Parkland shooting, and it's just the lyrics to this song are absolutely heart-pulling, and it's like how, you know, when George Harrison wrote this song, how he was talking about how he wished he could do more, and he says, with every mistake we must surely be learning, but still my guitar gently weeps, and oh, it just gets me. And so I totally recommend the original song, but this month I listened to this version a lot because I stumbled upon it and it made me happy. I'm back to another song that was from the Taylor playlist, and this song is called There Are So Many Ways to Say I Love You, and it's just a cute little song about how you can express your love for people in ways other than words, and I love this song and it makes me happy.
There are many ways to say I love you. There are many ways to say I care about you. Just by being there when things are sad and scary. Just by being there.
Next is a Taylor Swift song, and I know you're like, really? But yes, because this is a song off of her first album, which I always just kind of bypassed, and it's called Stay Beautiful, and I relate to this song so much. Basically, it's about someone who she liked in high school, but things never worked out for them to be together, and she's saying, you know, in the back of my mind, I kind of hope we can be together one day. But if not, I still think you're a wonderful person, and I still hope the absolute best for you, and you're a wonderful person. Don't lose your shine. And I can just relate to that so much right now with the current situation I'm in, and it's a beautifully written song. Is an old song by Pink, which is random, but I was sick and couldn't go to sleep, and I for some reason I love watching VH1 Behind the Musics, and I watched the VH1 Behind the Music on Pink, and she talks about this song a lot in it, and it's Family Portrait, and I went and listened to it, and I really love it. Next is two songs by Shinedown, and my dad is a huge fan of heavier metal rock music, and he wants me to go see a Five Finger Death Punch concert with him in May, and I'm not a big fan of Five Finger Death Punch, but I'm gonna go with him, so he has someone to go with. And Shinedown is also playing with them, and he sent me links to a lot of Shinedown songs, and I actually really like them, and these are two of their bigger ones that he sent me, which I really enjoyed this month.
I painted your room at midnight, so I'd know yesterday was over. I put all your books on the top shelf, even the one with the four-leaf clover. Man, I'm getting older. Only fell apart, and I'm staring down the barrel of a 45, swelling through the ashes of another life.
And the last song is a good bop to get you going, and this is Power by Little Mix. Now, I used to be a huge Little Mix fan, especially when Perry and Zayn were dating, and I loved their first record. I loved Salute. Salute is one of my favorites. I still listen to a song off of Salute almost every day, probably. Love that album. But Get Weird just really did not do it for me. And so, when Glory Days came out, I didn't listen to it immediately. So I kind of bypassed it. And I heard, Shout Out to My Ex, and I heard Touch, and I heard No More Sad Songs. And I'm not big on Touch, but I really liked Shout Out to My Ex, and I really liked No More Sad Songs, and I played those, but I hadn't listened to any of the other stuff. And now that Power has come out as a single, I am shook, and it's just a really fun female empowerment anthem, literally empowerment. So that is what I'm gonna leave you with. Thank you for watching this video. I'm gonna link my video from last week. I'm gonna link a video that I did with my brother Zach, which you should watch because we're really funny, and I'm gonna link the reaction that I did to Five Sauce's new single. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Comment and tell me what your favorite songs of the month were, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye.
My turn. I'll make this look easy. Take